But Dad, isn't it time for illegal ham in the face? But bro, where's the banjo?
Some sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face, talking all Cleveland sports and of course food on our semi-famous Fat Boy Thursday. Here are your hosts, Fatty and Big Bry.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into Illegal Ham to the Face. I am that fat guy, Jared Fatty Bates. We have another great episode for you tonight. I figured I'd do a little Sunday special for everybody since we didn't have a live show on Thursday due to me being under the weather and Bri still on paternity leave. So please hop on in. Comments are wide open. I got some special guests I'm going to announce here in a little bit. Our show is always brought to you by Harold Q and Lake Erie APA. Also, City Dogs Cleveland. We got a new puppy to showcase tonight for our trivia. We also got some news coming up. We got Nick Weary will be in town this week. I believe it will be Thursday. So stay tuned for an announcement for our show. I'll be trying to coordinate times and everything else to where we can get Nick on with us while he's here in Cleveland. Maybe do some live streaming of the hot dog eating contest while we're doing that too. So please stay tuned. It's going to be a weird week for us here at Illegal Ham to the Face. So it might be a Wednesday show, might be a Thursday show, might be a Friday show. You never know. But please tune on in. Also, we are part of Network 216. Can't thank them enough. We always start our show with some shout outs. I do want to shout out. Now I can say it. Brian, his beautiful wife, had a baby girl. Everybody is happy and healthy. He's loving life as a dad, and he's enjoying every minute of it. Would he admit a hot dog is a taco? I don't think he'll still admit that, but we'll figure that out a little bit later, Justin. Thank you for everybody for the support and everything else, especially with us being sick and then Bri having a baby and just, the support we get from everybody here watching our show. We greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. So please go click that like, subscribe, follow, whatever you got to do, retweet, whatever it is. I don't even know if it's retweet anymore because it's X, but I repost or whatever the hell it is. But I do have some very, very special guests for us tonight. Called on them and I said, hey, I need some help in the big boy seat. And what better way to do it than bring in the heavy hitters from the Lineman Lounge. First off, we got Sleeveless Mike here joining us tonight. Also, Evo is here with us too. I got the whole group tonight. I got double package tonight. So we're bringing the ham and we're bringing the heavyweights. Let's do it tonight, boys. Boys, welcome on in. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and taking time out of your guys' day to help me out here tonight. So thank you.
Yeah, Jared, thanks for having us on, man. I'm very, very excited. Cheers to everybody out there. This is our first time on Network 216, so hopefully you enjoy us. If you haven't seen us before, it's a wild ride at times.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, for anyone that doesn't know, Lineman Lounge wise, we're part of the No Sleeves Network, but we talk kind of all sports, not just necessarily, Cleveland sports, me and things like that. Me being a Vikings fan from Minnesota originally and living down in Arizona, and Mike's definitely more of the Cleveland corner. Hopefully I can contribute appropriately to the show and help out and maybe have some of that outsider perspective on some things.
Which will be perfect because we do got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to dive into the guards and how they're doing. Also, their season MVPs so far, plus can vote win manager of the year. And the way it's going, it looks like he might be able to. We're going to talk a little bit about the Cavs, still searching for a coach, still searching for answers. Talk a little Browns OTA. Fat Boy Thursday is now a Fat Boy Sunday, and I got a special treat because Nick Weary is coming into town, and he is number 4 in the world in competitive eating. I want to see if the Lyman Lounge can throw down some food and see what they would like to try as a competitive eater. For me personally, it is chicken wings. I will do chicken wings all day, even though I realize I cannot touch the number 4 eater in the world because he said he ended up with like 200 wings. I'm like, I could do about 80. Like he can mow down. So we're going to do that. And then finally for our top 3, got new blood in here. We're going to do some top 3 walkout songs. So stay tuned. Let's have some fun. And no, the show is not now on Sundays. We will be back to Thursdays. It's just a little impromptu show tonight. I got some free time because I was sick on Sunday. Just wanted to have a little fun with some friends. But our show is brought to you by City Dogs, and I do have a trivia, and it is for both the guys here. Now, the trivia, guys, is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. All right, I'm going to ask you a trivia question. Now, Nick messed this up last week. When I ask you the trivia question, do not answer right away. We save the trivia answer for at the end of the show, okay?
All righty.
And it's a two-parter.
Okay.
And it should be right up your alley, Evo, because you'll find it. You'll find out why.
Okay.
But let me play our trivia sounder, and then we will go straight into trivia.
Dig the graphic there, brother. That thing is dope.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. And our trivia is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. We do have a new puppy tonight. I got to find him down here at the bottom. At least I think he's nope, he's up higher. His name is Jed. If you guys can please go adopt Jed, take a look at that beautiful puppy right there. Can't say no to faces like that right there. Please go help out a City Dog. If you cannot adopt, please donate, volunteer, whatever you can do to help out City Dogs Cleveland. We've been a part of them. They've been a part of us, and we appreciate everything they do to help out our four-legged friends. So please go do that. Now, boys, tonight we're going to do a little baseball guard action for trivia. I got to do it with you guys because Bride does not like it when I start throwing out baseball trivia. So tonight, baseball trivia, first crack, first question. Where did David Fry go to college at? Second question, what team did he come from? Because it wasn't here in Cleveland.
Hey.
All right.
All right.
Saving our answers, correct?
Keeping the answers to the end of the show. I see little smirks and smiles. All right. It's a toughie. It's a toughie. The second one should be able to get. The first one, not so much. We'll see what happens.
All righty.
I have a guess. I think I'm off though.
All right. Well, let's get into our Cleveland headlines and have some fun. So first up on your Cleveland headlines tonight. Yeah, you're loving that music. That's one of my favorite music. So tonight, Guards lost today. I think they lost what? They lost the series. They went 1-3 in the series against Washington, right?
So our last series they did, they lost the series.
Okay. Well, they've been hot anyway.
Oh no. I'm sorry. They lost today. Did take 2 out of 3. We lost the series to Colorado just before that. That's
what it was. Okay, thank you so much. So far, how are you guys feeling about the Guards? I know, Eve, I know you're out there on the upper Midwest, and I don't know if you watch Guards baseball that much, but right now they're 4th in the MLB. They're killing the American Central right now, which I'm loving every minute of it. Kansas City's finally taking a dive off the back end. I mean, Mike, how are you feeling about the Guards right now? And what are you looking forward to them moving forward?
I mean, I think they're fantastic. This team is so young. The core is so solid, with the potential to hopefully lock up some more of that core. If we can find a way to re-sign a Naylor, re-sign a Quan, keep this young group through 2025, 2026, when that Jose Ramirez contract comes up, there is no doubt in my mind that this team can go out and compete and win a World Series title. Like, that team has finally started to grow into their power. 2-3 years ago, this team didn't have any pop. They were all young kids. When you get guys who are seeing 500-600 plate appearances every year, year after year, they're going to create better contact, harder contact. Guys grow into power. So we're seeing a little bit of that with Stephen Kwan. So I love where we're at right now. I think that we're one move away from maybe competing this year to win a title. I think we need to get Gavin Williams back badly, but we might need one more arm to really solidify that, because I think we still have some pop down in AAA that we could bring up without, we don't have to go make a move for a big-time bat.
Mm-hmm. Eva, what do you think, bud?
Yeah, so, I mean, look, the Guardians are are doing phenomenal this year. They're third in the majors right now as far as their record goes. Obviously first in the AL Central, which, you know, I'm a Twins fan, so it's nice to have some competition there. You know, the Twins obviously started off pretty bad this year, but they kind of have come along a little bit, and they're being a little bit more competitive. But I mean, I'd argue that the AL Central is probably one of the better, if not the best division right now in the American League. We've got three teams that are, you know, yes, the Royals are falling off a little bit, but you know, three teams that are sitting in the top 10 of all of baseball as far as record right now. And the Guardians are obviously the pinnacle of that, you know, first in the Central. Their run differential right now is fourth best in the majors. They're plus 78, I believe, runs, and the third most runs scored, sixth best runs allowed. So they're not just playing, you know, offensive baseball. They're kind of good all around. And you can't argue with that brand of baseball. Like that's the team being built and playing well enough that they're going to be able to carry this throughout the entirety of the year. So I mean, they are definitely the team to go after here in the Central right now. I don't know that my Twinkies or the Royals are going to have a chance of catching up to them, because it's not like a flash in the pan type of success that we're seeing. Last year, you kind of saw that, where I don't know that anyone really expected the Guardians to be as good as they were. And they were, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, they were up in the lead of the AL Central or right there through most of the year up until the end. And yeah, they finished third, I believe, last year in the Central, but still, like, that was a good young core, and that's how you should be building your team, is that good young core. And then obviously they're going to develop further, which I think probably goes into one of the next conversations about the management of the team, you know, and how their manager's doing, and whether or not he really should be considered that manager of the year.
Yeah, Stephen Vogt has, and I even said it last week with Nick. I believe right now his track record, if they keep up this pace, he's going to be manager of the year. I don't see how they couldn't do it, especially, you know, I understand, like, you have the Yankees and you got all these other big names, but man, to do it with a team like the Guardians, with a lot of, let's be honest, it's like Major League. It's a lot of ragtag guys. I mean, you got Quan, who is just, I think the MVP, we'll talk about MVPs here in a second, but like, just watching this team and how this team sets up and how they play for each other. Like, the one weird stat that I saw that I actually thought was cool as shit is, like, right now they are second in runners in scoring position, batting them in, and also like third or fourth in 2 out run bat in. You can't beat that. Like, they just won't give up. They're a great hitting team. And it's not that they hit for power, they hit for average. They work a pitcher. Like, there's times where they'll get loose and start swinging the pitches really quickly. But, like, you have Quan up there. Quan's going to get you a 12 pitch at bat most of the time. You know, you have Jimenez has done that too. You've had Naylor has finally calmed down a little bit and started seeing the ball a little bit better. And then, of course, you got Jose Ramirez, who is just unreal. But the captain of the ship is Vogt. And, I mean, you guys think that he should win manager of the year if this pace keeps up and they get in the postseason?
I mean, he'd have my vote, and that's even, it can be homerish if you want, but I mean, you take a team that nobody expects to produce this level of runs, and then you find a way to cobble together a lineup while you have one of your best hitters out. It's not like we had some giant fall off from Stephen Kwan being out of this lineup either. We were still scoring a ton of runs. So the lineup construction by Stephen Vogt has been fantastic. He is finding the right ways to use our pitchers late in games. So yeah, right now he'd have my vote.
I guess the question for me is really, and this is just pushing it back to you guys, what really defines or makes the manager of the year? Is it just winning and winning your division? Is it, with him having and honestly, I didn't know much about Vogt before this, but the personality that he has and camaraderie with the guys as, former player and stuff like that. Apparently he's a character, and that really kind of breaks down some of the barriers between him and his guys. Is it taking a team that was previously in the dumps and having this year where they're kind of blowing up, which it's not necessarily the case, because like I talked about earlier, the Guardians were good last year. I mean, yeah, tailed off a little bit, but it's not like he came into the worst of situations and turned it around. That's where it's kind of different from the major leagues. Is it's not a whole bunch of guys just off the street, no names, where they're intentionally trying to lose and now they're going to win the whole dang thing. It's
the whole fornicating thing.
Yeah. It was a good team, but he's taken them to that next level, which was an expected progression, but the progression that there has been exponential compared to what I think most people expected. So what really makes a manager of the year to you guys?
Like
expectation versus reality for me.
Yeah, same here, because like our expectations here as Guardians fans, like we didn't know what to expect this year. We knew we had an okay team last year. We didn't know what step was going to be taken forward. So everybody's been kind of like, all right, we'll be around 500. It's a new manager, new this. When they came out of the gates on fire the way they did, like here in Cleveland, we're not used to that shit. Like I can honestly tell you, like we are a Tito-led team where September comes and then that's when we start firing it up, boys. April, May don't mean nothing. It's like, okay, well, guess what? April, May means some stuff right now because, looking at the standings, like we're 39-20. You got the Royals right behind us at 36-25, and then the Twins 33-26. Like there's no other, division right now that's got that kind of a loaded top three right now. And it's just, I'm telling you what, I'm loving every bit of what Vote's doing. Vote's got my vote. Can we do like the Kane is able scenario from like the program? Like get a little button said Vote's my vote.
And as far as would I vote for him or not, I don't really have a good answer because I would have to compare him to every other manager in the league, and I'm just not well versed enough for that because it's the same thing with any other professional sport and that, head coach of the year and things like that. Like it's always going to be a competition between a couple guys and who's really doing good. But I mean, honestly, the track record that we've seen so far would lead you to believe that he's got to be at least in the conversation for it. So for your guys' sake, I'll say, yeah, probably he'll be there.
There we go.
But I just don't know for sure. So because I'm not as well versed as I should be. I gotta listen to the experts, right?
Well, I don't know if we're experts, but I'll do like a semi-famous expert. Let's just put it that way. We're like we're right in the middle, right?
Sure.
So far this season has gone crazy. David Fry, I don't even know what to say about him anymore.
All-star. David Fry's an all-star. That's what we should be saying about David Fry.
See, so you have that. You have Jose doing what Jose's doing. You got Quan, who's batting like 380, comes back, tweaks his hamstring, comes back, he goes 2 for 3 the first night, like he never left. And then you got Naylor crushing the hell of a ball when he actually gets a hold of it. And then all the guys they've called up, Manzardo. God, I love that mustache, by the way. Can I get a little mustache take on Manzardo's mustache? You guys like it or no?
I dig it. I love the moxie it takes to rock that kind of mustache. Very Gardner Minshew-esque type feel to it. So that takes a set of meaty clackers to pull that off.
Well,
yeah,
and the thing was, man. Hey, I started laughing when I saw him. I'm like, that's Steve Zahn. I'm like, am I watching Saving Silverman out there batting? Like, all right, here we go. I love that mustache though. That's like the perfect 70s mustache. Like I told Nick, that's a 18 or 1979 Philadelphia Phillies third baseman with that mustache. He looks great with that thing. But who is your guys' all-star besides David Fry? Mike, I know you're excited about David Fry. Who else would you put on that all-star list for this Guardians team?
Josh Naylor, Andres Manis, Jose Ramirez. Probably
everybody. Just
Bybee, Tanner Bybee at this point, Emmanuel Clase. Like the Guardians realistically have 5 or 6 guys that could be on the all-star team this year.
Yeah, the low-hanging fruit is Jose Ramirez, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But I think what you brought up is Andres Jimenez. There's a good argument there as well, because I think one of the things about this team, what makes them so good, is that they're actually got like the 16th best team hitting in the majors, hitting 239. But their on-base percentage is 7th in the MLB at 317. And that's a big part of it is and why they're winning is because they are able to get those guys on base so much. Jimenez is what 336 on base percentage right now, I believe, leading the team. And so that again, it's that style of play that Cleveland's playing with that is allowing them to be where they're at, and you got to highlight the players who are the peaks in that sort of statistical category. So that's I'd say Jimenez and Ramirez.
One of the greatest trades that has ever happened to Cleveland sports was the trade of Francisco Lindor for Andreas Jimenez.
Yes,
Like
it was.
it is unbelievable how good the Guardians got from that one trade, and the Mets are floundering once again. And Francisco is not happy with where he's at anymore.
Well, when you're only
That
batting
250 should have made him happy, but
I was gonna say when you're only batting 176 and you just the favorite one that I keep seeing is him just standing there with the bat on his shoulders. He just took that strike like you wouldn't believe. That nice little change up right down the middle. It's like, come on, all right, you can't do it anymore, bud.
like ball.
And tell your wife, and I believe that is your wife that's messaging.
That is, yes, producer Amber.
All right, so you need to tell her that she better get on that mustache train because we're going to ride that thing all the way to the playoffs.
That's right, baby. You can go ahead and hop on and ride that mustache right to the playoffs.
Yo, crotch breathing.
All right. So now we are getting into our PG part of the show.
Here
we go. All right. So, gentlemen, so far the Guardians have stepped it up. They're looking great. Can they keep this pace? Right now, they do need some help, and she definitely loved that. Definitely need some help on starting pitching. They need a little bit of more help, maybe out in the outfield. So, can they keep this pace up, guys? Can they keep this going all the way until the end? And if they can't, what would be the Achilles heel of them not doing this?
This pace is a big ask. 660 would be outrageous for an entire season. So no, I don't know if they'll be able to keep this pace because we're talking about 108 ball games, some stuff like that. So I think that's a lot. Can they be right around there? Can this team win 100 games? Yeah, absolutely. And the way they're going to have to do that is by avoiding major injury. This team is pretty good. Like we've seen that they know how to scratch together runs at any point with key contributors out of the lineup. They're finding ways to scratch across runs, and the pitching is good enough. But if we have a big time injury to a massive cog in this team, then that will be the problem. That's the only thing that I can see really derailing what we have going.
And that's, I mean, barring injury, kind of like you brought up, yes, 60%, winning percentage is kind of a lofty goal, but it, like I kind of was saying earlier, I don't think it's a like flash in the pan moment for this team. I think this is kind of the way that they're built. This brand of baseball that they're playing can allow them to kind of carry this going forward. Yes, 100 wins absolutely is on the table. And I think maintaining this sort of a winning rate and this winning percentage is possible. Just based on the way that you're playing. Like, yes, if you do lose some pivotal pieces, obviously that is going to hurt. It's going to hurt every team. But it'd be different if you guys just had like an insane amount of home runs or something like that. Like something that was an outlier, which is going to revert to the mean. And I'm not seeing that right now. Like the mean for you guys does seem to be pretty consistent. And so because of that, I would say like this sort of a trajectory going forward is definitely achievable.
I right now, I'm not even going to say no because I wasn't expecting this out of the gates with Guardians. I think they can keep up this pace. Like we always say, injury barring, because if somebody gets injured, we lose another pitcher. That's not going to be great for us. I do think they need to add a little bit more depth to starting pitching. Do they need a true ace? Most playoff teams do, but I don't think this team does. I mean, we got a little surprise from Ben, Don't Call Me Blake Lively. Has come out and actually shown like he's got some moxie to him. And Bybee, I mean, people thought Bybee, yeah. Like I seriously, like at the beginning of the year when Bieber went down, and especially after you started the first two games he did, I'm like, man, this is tough. And then we got the news about McKenzie with his elbow. And I'm like,
pitching through it though, which is crazy.
Yeah. And he's still pitching through it. And then it was Gavin Williams was supposed to be our other one. And then what has happened to Logan Allen this year?
He's getting hit hard, man. He's missing in the middle of the zone too much.
Just
like he's got good stuff. Yeah, well, listen, last year we saw this guy early on, and he got hit around a lot when he first got up. This last year, he was pretty good. But when he misses in middle. He misses in the middle. And if you're going to miss in the middle, you're going to get damage. Like, it's just what it is. He's not walking too many guys. He's just hitting too much part of the plate. So he's got to work at the edges a little bit more.
All right, before we switch over to the Cavs, is there anything else you guys want to talk guards?
I'm good here, bro.
Guards. Vote David Fry for All-Star, which opens on the 5th. All-Star voting opens on the 5th of this month.
I still can't believe David Fry. Like, that still floors me to, like, right now I'm giggling because I enjoy it. It's like Cleveland lore. It's like the Rajay Davis home run. It's like Cleveland lore with this guy, but it's just like he just can't stop hitting. And it's like, where are you going to put him now? Like, and that was the other thing. There's the other thing I want to ask. Bo Naylor, not hitting the greatest right now, still a great defensive catcher. You got Fry just not going to cover off the ball right now. What do you do with Bo Naylor?
I think you keep playing Bo. If you ask, like, my opinion, I would keep playing Bo. There's an outfield spot that we still need to fill that has not been consistent whatsoever over in right field. Like, Kwan's back. I like Tyler Freeman a little bit in center. If we're not bringing Chase DeLauder up, then David Fry should be getting every day at bats and playing right field.
And then have Manzardo and all those guys kind of.
Manzardo DHs or plays first, and then you just alternate him and Naylor.
Okay. No, I like it. All right. Well, let's talk some Cavs. We still don't have a coach. We still don't have an answer from Money Mitch. We got the NBA Finals coming up with Boston and Dallas. Kyrie going for another ring. You're just upset because Minnesota got their ass kicked.
They did. They
like,
did.
it wasn't even funny. Like, you know what it was? Ant-Man talked some shit to Kyrie, and that's all it took. That's
Bring that
all it
ass
took right there.
Hey,
That's all it took.
that's the most disappointing part for me is that Ant slogan could have been great, and then we just fumbled the bag completely on it. Like, going 7 games, I think ruined us in the series before. But like Mike and I talked about this on our show yesterday. It's a young team. I'm looking forward to the future with that. It's been a long time, 2 decades since I've really been able to be excited about Timberwolves basketball. So I'm proud of what they did this year. But yeah, we looked cooked by this series.
Hey, you're still young. You got a great team coming up. I mean, what? Ant-Man's only 22 or something like that?
Yeah, he's
shit. You guys will be fine. He'll be back here again. Us, we don't know because we don't know if Donovan Mitchell's going to come back and play for us. And if he has control over the head coach. So, Mike, you guys, I got to ask you a question. Are we going to get a head coach before Mitchell resigns, or are we going to get it after Mitchell resigns?
Oh, gosh. I would say probably after. Just because I think Donovan Mitchell, it does matter to him who the next head coach of this place is. He's not signing a long-term extension unless he has somebody in place that he wants to play for. And this is not uncommon. This is something that we kind of saw with LeBron James happen as well. Actually, that's a great idea. So what the Cavs should do is just hire LeBron James, either as player or whatever, to come and build a team, because nobody inside this organization has ever built a winning basketball team with the exception of LeBron James. GM LeBron James built a winning basketball team.
True.
And they won a title. But nobody else in this organization has done that. So I'm not holding out a lot of hope that
this was Cleveland's first playoff series win, I think, since LeBron was there, right?
Yeah.
And they hadn't won a playoff series since '93 before LeBron.
Correct.
So, well, I mean, maybe you're onto something there, Mike. We've joked about this a little bit at work that LeBron, possible pending free agent here, that maybe he does go somewhere, become player coach, and bring on his son. And wouldn't that be a storyline?
I don't think he would be. I think if that happens, knowing LeBron's ego and how he manages himself, if he should happen to fail as a coach and a player, I don't think he could handle that. And I think, and I'm not saying that he would, but just the chance of it, to have the fans turn on him, because he is all about the fans. He found out when he left here the first time, he was scorned after that. Oh, they're mad at me. Why are they mad at me? Well, what did I do? He is very social media fan conscious of what he does, that I don't think he could ever do that, because if he failed, it would be
Are you saying he wouldn't put himself in that position for it?
I
to
don't think
happen?
he would. I don't think he would.
Unless the ego takes over and he thinks like I am the gift to Cleveland and I can fix all this.
Well, I mean, that's what. Okay, let's be honest. That's what Michael Jordan tried to do. Did not turn out so well down there. I'm not saying that he was a coach, but he tried to play, tried to help a young team out. And I'm not saying Jordan didn't do good, because for his age he did good, but just like, I think it's a whole different animal, because there's a difference between bringing your friends in and people that you trust to play with you than building a team.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's up to me, I'm signing LeBron, I'm trading Jared Allen, and I'm trading Darius Garland, and I'm pairing LeBron, Donovan Mitchell, and a young core, and I'm going to go out and sign somebody else with the guys that I trade away, or I'm going to go trade for another star.
Yeah.
Because
I think
that lineup could work.
As of right now, though, Cleveland has kind of come out and said that they're not looking at trading away or moving their forward, or they're not motivated to listen to inquiries into their core four guys and Mitchell, Garland, Allen, and Mobley, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
But see, the thing is, though, there's rumblings going around where people are upset with Allen. So there's another one. There's Garland upset if Mitchell resigns, and he might want out. So like, there's so many strings that are being pulled right now that we don't know what is what, because it's just too much is going on right now, and we don't have a definite answer of what's going on forward. Like, we know Mobley's going to be here, but the ones that are questionable up besides Mobley are still questionable. We don't know. We don't know if Mitchell wants to sign and then be traded. We don't know if he wants to extend and stay. We don't know if Garland will want to come back to a team that, and then we also have the other question marks on the outside with, like, what do you do with Niang? What do you do with Strus? What do you do with these guys that you brought in to help this team make a playoff win? And then they didn't do anything. Like, I saw the funniest quote about the whole, Niang going 0 for like 34. People are making that joke. And it's like, yeah, I got you. I get it. It just sucks because, we were supposed to be a different story. But the thing is I brought up to Nick, it's hard to tell with this team because everybody got injured at the wrong time in the playoffs. And we couldn't get a true test of what this team would be in the playoffs together.
Yeah, I don't know if the lineup construction is necessarily the greatest and the best way to try to compete in the NBA right now. We don't have anybody who can really stretch the floor from the 4 or a 5 spot. Like,
no,
and that's a big thing that today's NBA kind of needs. So I think you look and you try to create a trade package. You go get a guy, you sign a LeBron, and then you make a run at it then. Because if we got Mobley and we have Mitchell, a LeBron James, and one other piece, I mean, you're telling me that team is not – I'm not penciling them in at least the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston next year?
Yeah.
How would you not?
Yeah, and I think with LeBron, though, like we talked about, having LeBron in would be a huge help for Mitchell and Mobley. I think that would be the mentor that you would need to bring in to kind of show these guys, okay, here we go. Like, this is how we're going to do it. I don't need to be the ball dominant guy. I can let Donovan take care of that. I can play off the ball. I can teach these guys how to win and how to win in the playoffs and how to, control the runs and control the emotions. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and look, kind of to bring it back to the coaching conversation, I suppose that it would make sense for this roster construction, what's going to happen with that, to happen all after this coach ends up getting hired. You'd think that they would want to know what sort of coach they're going to have and how to work with it from there. Are there any front runners or any guys that really stand out to you that you would like to see? I've seen that they've gotten permission to interview multiple different guys. Anyone jumping out as someone that you want to bring in as the new coach?
See, that's the other
JJ
thing.
Redick.
Yeah, see, so JJ's out there, but like for me, they're all assistants or retreads.
Right.
It's not like I don't know. I don't know
Correct.
until
They're
I
all
see
retreads. We do it in the NFL every year, right? Like, screw the retreads, harder retreads. Give me JJ Redick. Give me somebody new.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Listen to Anthony Lima saying about Rick Pitino. I mean, hey, what else can you lose? I mean, I know he wasn't great the first inning, but Mitchell loves him. Their boy's like, why not?
That'd be one way to, I guess, to make sure that Mitchell does want to stay and play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
If he's your path forward, then you got to make those players happy.
But right now, none of these guys get me too excited. Like, I mean, yeah, like I would like JJ Redick because I think JJ would bring a different dynamic to this team, and especially the way that he sees the ball. But everybody else, it's like, all right, like you're an assistant under a championship coach. Okay, we're going to do that again. We're going to do this again. Like we had enough retreads here in Cleveland. I mean, just Hugh Jackson. like come on, like, oh, he's a great offensive coordinator. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, great offensive coordinator that got us 1 win in 2 years. Fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was not fun. Hugh Jackson was a terrible decision.
Let's switch over to the Browns. Browns OTAs are going on right now. We have had videos and everybody else chomping at the bit for May passes and if they got zip on the ball and everything else. How are you guys feeling about the Browns OTA and where this team is at right now, and especially with this new kickoff rule that have kind of perplexed of what we're going to see next year? There's talks about Amari Cooper returning kicks.
That would be interesting to see. Evo, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
Well, I was gonna say, like the new kickoff rule. It seems like you guys probably went out to get Naheem Hines specifically for that. I hadn't heard the Amari Cooper conversation yet. But I mean, we're also hearing weird conversations about is Justin Fields going to return kicks for Pittsburgh and stuff like that. I don't know if anyone knows exactly how this is going to work out yet, other than the coaches who probably are already devising things kind of behind closed doors and being cagey about it until the regular season. Look, definitely could be interesting. Like I am excited for the new kickoff rules just because I normally don't like change to the, integral fabric of the NFL and things like that. But this does seem like it is a step in a positive direction where kickoffs kind of got ruined before. But as far as the actual OTAs and stuff like that, we like to say it on our show all the time. It's silly season with the stuff that you do see.
Oh, yeah.
What the media has been allowed in maybe 2 of your practices so far? I'm assuming.
Yeah, something like that.
And so you're seeing essentially snippets. Like, yes, the teams will release video packages of this is what happened.
They want you to see.
That's the thing is, like, for my Vikings right now, they'll show JJ McCarthy throwing a ball and then it cuts to a receiver catching the ball. You have no idea if that's actually the pass.
Oh, come on. It's JJ McCarthy, the golden arm.
As a video editor, I can almost assuredly tell you that it was not the same pass. And if there's a cut, there's no way it's the same pass.
And I guess with like today's day and age and media and social media and stuff like that, you just learn to distrust any video that is not start to finish. And even then with AI and all that crap, you really don't know what's real and what's true anymore. But that being said, like, we have to take everything with a grain of salt. It's silly season with the OTAs. Like, yes, what the media is seeing there on site, it's not even going to be probably the entirety of the practice. It is going to probably be a very condensed version because the team knows exactly what's going on. The media is coming in, they're going to take notes, and they're going to spin it how they're going to spin it. Speaking of spinning it, Deshaun Watson throwing the ball and all that stuff, I know that's going to be a big point of conversation, right? And how he's recovering from that shoulder surgery. And I think that what people really do need to understand here with OTAs is that this is the installation and this is teaching. This isn't training camp. Like, yes, players are being evaluated every single day, but this is where you're supposed to go out, go slow, learn, make mistakes. And so I think a lot of people like to jump to conclusions that, oh, this team is going to be great, or, because the media is saying they're going to be good, or this team is going to be trash because Caleb Williams threw 7 interceptions in a row and got benched in practice, right? You'll hear these things go around like we have to take everything with a grain of salt. This is the learning time. It's just cool to see those players out there in pads getting ready for the season.
Yeah. So for me, I couldn't give a flying fortification about OTAs. This is stupid. Like, I don't care about May passes, June passes. None of these things mean anything right now. So the JJ McCarthy, and I don't know if Evo, you wouldn't track it down, but missing the 5-yard pass to
It was definitely
Because
so
Coach-
I did look it down. It was like a 15-20, and it was behind the coach, but the coach was moving the opposite direction. I don't read into it at all. I think he was just kind of like tossing the ball towards the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't matter because like the things that we do see that somebody's going to spin it one way, somebody else is going to spin it another. JJ McCarthy is just having fun at practice, or JJ McCarthy can't hit the broadside of a barn, and now they're in trouble.
Yeah,
so
we just spun it different ways, which it shows you exactly what these OTAs are and what we as fans are able to see. You know, like,
and that's what's happening with Deshaun Watson.
It'd be completely different if we are able to be there day in, day out, see every practice, and then you could develop like a real sense of what's going on. Which, by the way, that would be the greatest thing ever. Like, if anyone wants to find that job for us, like, I would love to go and just watch these practices. But yeah, that's never going to happen unless you're a media shill for the team. Which again, I'll do it. I will do it happily. But yeah, the stuff with Deshaun Watson, I'm interested to hear your guys' takes on it, because to me, and I think it's kind of the same with you, Mike. We're not going to read a whole lot into this until it gets into training camp and stuff like that. Dorsey was talking about how, you know, I believe this injury was supposed to be like a 6-month rehab. It happened on around November 15th. I think that he had the surgery. So we're just outside of that 6-month window. So realistically, like, he's been throwing, I think, since March or April, depending on where you've heard your reports from. But he's outside of the rehab window, and they're still going to limit him. They're still going to bring him along slow, which is a smart thing to do. Dorsey talked about how they did this with Cam Newton down in Carolina when he had rotator cuff surgery and stuff like that. So, like, yeah, he's probably not throwing at 100%. He's probably being limited by the team, by himself, by his own doctors, things like that. So how can we really read much into this unless it is just to say, like, well, maybe the injury didn't heal as well as it should? But none of us can know that without having the doctor's notes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. I don't care. Like, I don't care about if he is throwing, not throwing, how he looks throwing at this point, because he is just coming off the injury. Once again, these are May and June passes. None of this shit matters at all. Like, when we get into training camp, or if we get him into a preseason game, and then, or if they're babying him still at that point, like, okay, and then I'm going to start to have some concerns. But just after the recovery time, a throwing program, a day on, a day off, it makes complete sense. They're trying to rebuild the arm strength. So you're not going to burn him out immediately. I completely get that. Now, is it interesting that video was purposely not released, or there were reports that video was purposely not released? Yeah, that's weird. That's super weird. But once again, it doesn't mean anything right now. And you know what? All this team needs to do is get league average quarterback play. They don't need 2020 Deshaun Watson. We don't need anything special. Jameis Winston can go and win 11 games with this team. No problem. We've done it in the past. We've cobbled together wins last year with 4 different starters. This team is stacked from top to bottom. League average quarterback play. That's all that matters. So I do not care about the Deshaun Watson thing right now.
All right. So here is normally when I bring out my fireball, which I don't have right now. And here's where you're going to get is a Fatty's fired up, because right now this goes on both sides of social media. If you are the person sitting there just going, rah, 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 look at this 5-yard out, he hit him right on the buttons, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a shit? Honestly, he has paid $230 million to hit a guy in shorts and a fucking t-shirt. Calm the hell down on your side. And if you're on the other side going, oh shit, he overthrew it by 30 yards, he can't hit his receivers, blah, blah, blah. Calm the hell down. It's May and June. Wait till preseason. Like, it's just unreal, the back and forth with this group, because there's no gray area. Nothing. Especially when it comes to Deshaun Watson or quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. There's no gray area whatsoever. It is either he is a hot mess or he is the best quarterback ever, and I got to show every 5-yard out that he throws. And it's like, here we go. Just flip a coin. Just wait till preseason. Like, this is a joke. I'm over all this crap. I'm tired of hearing it on the radio. I'm tired of watching it on social media feeds. I'm tired of just hearing everybody just going, oh, is he okay? He missed his throw. Who gives a shit right now? They're not even really playing. They're not even doing anything. Like, I could go out and throw out a 5-yard out with these guys. It's not that hard, damn it. And look at me. I'm out of shape.
What? No.
I'm in
Yeah,
a
like,
round shape. I'm in a round shape.
Well, that's the thing is it's like we talked. OTAs are for installing like general concepts, but you're not seeing playbook stuff out there, like not in-depth playbook, because the teams they're in the walk and crawl phase before you get to the run phase, right? They're having all these rookies come in, learn new things, new players that aren't, haven't been a part of the system before. They're teaching them all this stuff, and it is all done at a way slower pace, intended to create mistakes so that way those mistakes can be fixed. That's all this is. And that's all the people that are like you said, being very binary about it. Things are great or things are terrible. It does need to be contextualized better. And look, for what it's worth, it's a big part of it is the sports media right now. We are so in tune with, we can get anything at the drop of a hat on our phone reported about these teams. You can't really derive a whole lot right now, but sports media is going to push out as much as they can because they need content. And I get that, but it's not all going to be hyper accurate. I mean, a lot of it ends up being hyperbolic in what they're saying about these players in the first place. So, the cool things that for me that OTAs derive is you get to see new players and guys on your team in pads. That's always fun. You can start to, when you have, like in your instance, a new offensive coordinator come in and Ken Dorsey, you can see what sort of schematic changes are there going to be. You're not going to get the whole playbook by any means, but is there going to be any sort of noticeable schematic changes at this point, which I believe for you guys, the Browns haven't even announced or said whether or not Stefanski's going to be calling the plays or it's going to be Dorsey, how much influence Dorsey's really going to have.
Don't even know.
Like, what sort of influence is Dorsey actually going to have? This would be the time when you can start to maybe see differences, but really that is training camp where you're going to see it. And then the last bit is that's interesting to me is the players talking about other players. Now, just how you can't trust anything that you're getting from the social media departments from these teams, you definitely can't trust that from players as well, because a lot of these guys have a widely skewed version of what's going on the field compared to what we see, compared to what the media sees. And sometimes they're right. A lot of times they're not right. But, in like situations like myself, where I have a premier left tackle and Christian Darrisaw saying, hey, I saw our rookie Dallas Turner do a spin move that I hadn't seen Danielle Hunter do one that fast. And Danielle's not on the team anymore. So obviously that's getting thrown around Minnesota sports media a lot. And at first glance, like, oh, that's really cool. One of the better left tackles in the league is saying that this rookie first round pick is going to be really good. He's really fast. Also, is Darrisaw watching a rep of this guy going in shorts versus probably another practice squad player or something like that.
It's going to get cut tomorrow.
Like, we don't have the context to it. Yeah. But when you start to hear some of the camaraderie things from players, hanging out, how they're driving and things like that, that's always cool to hear. You're seeing a lot of that with Jameis right now. Jameis is talking a lot about Deshaun being a good leader and stuff like that. Now, Jameis also not the most trustworthy person. Can't leave him around a bag of crab legs or anything like that. But like, it's cool to hear those reports as fans, and you just got to take everything with a grain of salt at this point until we get into training camp where you're really starting to see everything start to fall into place.
I do have to say the one thing I love about Jameis is you hear him talk about Deshaun and the way he described it. Now I'm a little late to the party. I'm watching the OJ Made in America stuff right now, but man, he sounds like Johnny Cochran out there going, yeah, Deshaun with his indiscretionable, accent, blah, blah. Like, oh my God, dude. Like, seriously, this is awesome.
I believe he said it's a pleasure to serve Deshaun at one point is one of the things that he had said, which is interesting.
Like, who does that?
Yeah.
Jameis is a character. I love Jameis. I'm excited for Jameis with some post-game press conferences.
Oh,
even though there's not going to be any reason to probably talk to Jameis, we're going to get some, and it's going to be awesome.
I can't wait. He's like a gem. I love that guy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get off some sports. Let's have some fun. Let's get in some Fat Boy stuff. I mean, I got the Lineman Lounge with me. Let's get in some Fat Boy. Well, now it'd be technically Fat Boy Sunday. Yep, Sunday. But we're going to play the sounder anyways.
It's time for Fat Boy Thursday.
All right, it is time for Fat Boy Thursday. Welcome on in. All right, so with our gentleman here and Nick Weary coming to Cleveland this week, I got to ask you, gentlemen, if you could do an eating contest, what are you going to do an eating contest of? And the reason why I say it is Nick Weary last year, I believe, had 46 hot dogs down at the Nathan's Hot Dog. He lost this year, but there's some discrepancy about the pistachio eating. He is the pistachio world eating champion. He can also mow down with the best of them. So, what do you guys think you could mow down with the best of them?
So it's kind of a tough one. We've actually done an eating competition of sorts on our show. We had one of our buddies, another member, hopefully here soon of the No Sleeves Network, Dave. Him and I had was it 100 nuggets?
I think it was 50
down?
apiece.
Yeah, it was a lot of chicken nuggets from Wendy's on one of our shows. That one was a bit of a struggle, but I was able to get through it. Dave was struggling. He was sitting also outside in heat while doing it, and I don't think that helped. And he's a husky fella, and it all doesn't help like that. But as far as like competitive eating stuff, I have won one competitive eating competition before, and that was a speed eating competition of Jell-O. I ate one of those big gallon tubs of ice cream. They had filled that with Jell-O, and I put that sucker down quick. And now I hurled
Relax
afterwards.
relax the throat.
Yeah,
Let it go, or what?
slid right down. But like I smoked the competition in that one. And I paid for it shortly afterwards. Eating competitions right now, I am very ballsy with what I think I can do a lot of times, but my stomach has definitely shrunk. I've been like, we're talking about this before, so I've been carnivore for a little bit now. I am definitely not eating like I used to, but there used to kind of be like no end. I could just kind of go and go and go. I would have to go with my favorite food, which basically is pizza, and that's tough because it's very bready. But I've watched a couple of those different eating challenges of like eat this 5 foot wide pizza in an hour type thing. I would like to try to do pizza because this is other thing with me is like I like crappy pizza. I like good pizza. It doesn't matter if it's pizza, I'm putting it down. Totino's, like the little dollar pizzas, I'll put it down. Little Caesars
Probably
is like
frozen
my
as well, you fucking savage.
yeah. Look,
This
Little
guy doesn't-
Caesars.
doesn't-
Hey, we ain't all rich here. We gotta get to Aldi's $1.99 brand pizza. Come on.
This man does not care in what capacity his food comes. Like, doesn't have to be cooked. Nothing. He will eat it in whatever form that it comes in. He does not care.
I'm a lazy
He is a
eater.
savage.
So things like hamburgers and stuff like that. If the condiment's not already on it, I'm not putting it on because I'm too lazy. I'm just like I put it down my gullet type thing. Like cans of soup, I straight out of the can.
Jesus.
Just pound it. I don't like
Savage.
get out of the way. I'm eating. All right.
I'm loving every
but
minute of this.
my little thing is Little Caesars. Like, say what you will about it being cheap, crappy pizza or whatever. I love it. If I get Little Caesars, I kind of have to get 2 pizzas because on the 12-minute drive home from Little Caesars, where I can leave work, swing by Little Caesars, and I already have it ordered on the app, just pick it up. On the drive home from work, I will easily eat half of a pizza, if not a whole pizza, on the 12-minute drive home from work. And it's a problem. So that's why I've been dieting, hitting the gym, cutting the weight, getting ready for the summer. Got to have the dad bod, beach bod ready to go. But yeah, that's like, I don't know that I could hold up to an actual competitive eater. But if we're going
like if you
a lot of
for fun with
greenhorns,
friends, whatever you want to do, want to do, fun with friends, it doesn't have to be professional because obviously we're not professionals, and I cannot eat. I could try to eat 46 hot dogs in a matter of 10 minutes. I know what the outcome is going to be after I do that.
that's a lot of glizzies.
Yeah,
That is a ton of glizzies.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, Mike, how many grease missiles do you think you could get down in one sitting if you were trying to do it competitively?
Oh man, I could probably do in 10 minutes. I could probably get down 8 glizzies for sure. I think
8.
I feel like that's a lot still.
8.
I don't know. I've seen you with 2 in one hand before.
That's true.
But,
I will go both fists.
Now,
no problem.
What is there 8 in a package?
I think there is 8 in the package. Yeah, I can put down a package of hot dogs in 10 minutes.
Yeah, look, for me, the time limit is not going to be the issue. The issue is going to be getting too full too quick. I think 2 packages is doable for me. So 16 with
the bun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now, hey, so Nick taught us a cool trick. So, we talked to him about like the water and dunking everything in the water. He doesn't use water because he has it there, but his is, I think it's lemon lime Gatorade. He dunks his in to give it a little flavor when he's popping it in. So it's not like it's, and he said, once it gets that liquid form, he goes, dude, you're just swallowing. There's nothing, no chewing, no nothing. You're
starts
just
to disintegrate a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, man, that sounds awful.
Hey, third place for the past 2 years at the hot dog eating contest.
Super impressive.
Like, just unreal. I love that, man. Mike, what about you? What do you think?
A straight patriot, if I will.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. For me, gosh, it's between 2 things. You said chicken wings, and that's immediately where my brain went because I will smash some chicken wings. But if I was going to do something competitively where I think I'd have a chance, give me the ice cream. I will put down a whole mess of ice cream. I would be willing to venture
and everything.
No, I don't get brain freezes. The only time I ever get a brain freeze is if I have an alcoholic frozen beverage. That is the only time I've ever gotten a brain freeze in my entire life.
How the hell does that happen?
He's got a thick skull. It has to do with the membrane in the roof of the mouth, right?
Yes, it does.
It's a thick skull over here. This guy's had a lot of concussions and a lot of.
I actually have a
theory.
I have a theory about why I get them when it's an alcoholic beverage. It's because the alcohol can get colder than normal cold. It won't freeze, so it's even cooler. So, like your standard thing that's frozen, I'm not worried about that. I'm crushing a gallon of ice cream, and I'm not even thinking twice about it.
Man, oh man, you guys just opened my eyes.
The cold for me would be a difficult thing.
Yeah, that'd be
the brain freeze stuff would suck, and then the teeth. Yeah, for me, like I've got sensitive teethies right now because I did a lot of tobacco usage in my younger days, and now that I'm not doing it anymore, I'm noticing my dental health is suffered because of the nicotine and the tobacco usage. So yeah, that doesn't sound fun to me at all.
No, but I mean, ice cream. I didn't even think about ice cream. I mean, I would be good for like a little bit, but man, the brain freeze would kick in. Like there'd be a point in time where I'd just hit a wall and I'd be like, I can't do it anymore.
I would be hoping to melt that ice cream as much as possible so that way I can drink it.
Yeah, boy.
That just, oh man, that would be even harder in my opinion to do. That would feel like it's harder.
Or like
I tried to do the gallon of milk.
I was going to say the gallon of milk.
Impossible. It is disgusting when it comes back up too.
The gallon of milk challenge. That's another thing that I've never done, but I feel like
don't.
I gotta be able to do this.
Unless you're like, hey, let's vomit today. Don't do the gallon of milk challenge.
Don't do it.
Sounds like a good way to cut some weight.
It's not worth. No, it's not. Especially when you get it through your nose. That's a different smell coming through that nose. You do not want any part of that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I've done it a few times.
A few times?
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta try it. Didn't succeed the first time. Gotta try it again.
Hey, I was like, I almost got it the first time, and I'm like, I got this. Nope. Second time, I'm like, I could definitely do this. And then you get the drunken courage one night where you're like, I'm definitely doing this. And then nope. That mixture of Jack Daniels and milk coming back up was not good.
You're just mixing Irish car bombs in your belly.
Like, it was not good. Not good at all. All right, gentlemen, thank you for a great Fat Boy Thursday. Let's do our top 3, and then we'll close out the show, all right?
All right.
Yeah.
I see you guys are digging the effects there. You like those, don't you?
Absolutely.
All right. So tonight we've done this before with me and Bri, but some top 3 walk-up songs, whether you be batting or fighting in the octagon, whatever you want. Let's go, Mike. Let's go you first. Give me your top 3 walk-up songs.
Okay, so I know two for sure. And when I was thinking about these, I was thinking about walking up to at bat, not necessarily walking into a fight. Walking into a fight would have a much different feel. I think I'd go in a different direction.
Okay.
But going up to bat, I'm going to go with What's Poppin'. Jack Harlow would probably be number one. I feel like that's a great little song to get jacked and bop to before you go up for a bat. I'm going to go Renegade, Jay-Z and Eminem.
Okay.
I feel like that would be another fire track for a walk-up song. And then last, I'm just going to go with my favorite song, A Little Piece of Heaven by Avenged Sevenfold.
Nice. All right. I like it.
All right.
Evo?
I'm a little bit more old school with some of my stuff. And it's the same thought process walking up to bat or a UFC going out to fight or something like that. Money for Nothing by Dire Straits.
Shit, yes.
That intro, the build up to it makes me want to pop every time. The Stroke by Billy Squire. Love that one. And then, I mean, it's kind of like a multiple tie for some of these other ones because you can't really get past Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix or, Hell's Bells or something like that. But if I had to go with one extra as a third there, it would probably be Them Bones, Alice in Chains. I'm big into some of that old grungy metal. So
old school. All right.
Yeah. Though we did talk a little bit before the show about this question. And then look, I could find a humorous song as well that I think would play great, in certain scenarios. But in general, if I'm going in some sort of a competitive matchup, I start going in that mindset of I'm going to war. So I'm going to pump myself up. And so it's got to be something heavy.
We did walk-up songs for the kids on the baseball team this year. Our shows, Lineman Lounge sponsors one of the teams out in the Menor League that I coach. And we decided we were going to do walk-up songs for the kids this year. Graydon's is Goofy Goober, which is apparently a song from SpongeBob. And it totally works. He is a goober. He's a goofy kid. So
I'm writing it down so I can listen later.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, I'm going to kick it all rock right now because that's so number 3, Sevenfold Nightmare. I just got to have it as soon as it comes right out, just so hard. Number 2 is coming in hot with God, I can't think of the band's name right now. Hollywood Undead coming in hot. And then finally the last one, and I got to do it because it's one of my favorite songs, Alice in Chains, Rooster. I love that song to death. Now honorable mention. Go ahead.
Tim Kennedy's old walkout song in the UFC.
I love that. Like it just, but behind the scenes, I had a pool team that we loved, and our theme song for the entire team was Katy Perry Peacock.
You love me some Katy Perry.
Hey, every time that we went out, all of a sudden you just hear one person, he goes, go show him your peacock. And I'm like, here we go. Yep, it's time to play now. All right, so
very nice.
It's awesome. All right, so we're here at the end of the show. I can't thank you guys enough for joining me tonight. Really appreciate it. I know it's a Sunday night to take time away from your families to join me. Now, we did have a trivia brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. It was, where is David Fry from college, and where did he play at before he came to Cleveland?
Well, you said something I thought that I might know this. I don't know David Fry trivia.
Well, it's not David Fry trivia. It was the second part of where he came from.
I would have to assume because of that, it's got to be Arizona or Minnesota for me, but maybe it is just a Midwest situation.
It's a Midwest situation.
I don't know, Mike. This is on you, brother.
So I know the team that he was traded from, and I knew that when it started. He came over from the Padres.
Nope.
Really? Are you sure?
Positive.
Well, if it's a Midwest situation, then we're gonna go with
had to be
the Brewers.
There it is, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Brewers, man, I thought he came over from the Padres in that trade with Clevenger.
He might have been, but it says he was traded to the Cleveland Guardians as a player to be named later. Trade that sent J.C. Mejia to Milwaukee.
Oh, all right. Milwaukee.
So Brewers. Now, do you know where he played college ball at?
I do actually. Because I have a fantastic producer.
She's cheating.
Keep
Come
saying
on,
forward.
man. Come on.
Look, I don't know.
I did not know
have
it
to guess
before.
that it's a Midwest thing as well.
It's not a Midwest thing. It's a different. No.
Okay. Well, then I'm out.
My original guess was going to be UC Irvine, but that is not correct.
No.
So, Jared, go ahead, man.
It is. He played for the Northwestern University. Northwestern State University down in Louisiana. He's a Bayou boy.
Oh. All right.
All right.
Hey, if he keeps hitting 350 and sending the ball over the fence,
I don't
he
give
can
a
be
shit where
where
he
the hell he wants. Yeah.
I don't give a
Freaking
shit what he
Mars.
does.
Yeah.
All right. So, gentlemen, please promote, shout it out where you guys are from, what you guys do.
Yeah. So I'm going to do some shout outs actually, because I was checking out the show last week. Carnes, a friend of our show as well, gave us a shout out. So I want to make sure that I shout out the entire group over there at the Barking Browns. Those guys are fantastic. We enjoy having them on our show. And I appreciate their shout out. I'm going to give it back. So Jacob, Nick, and Casey, all those guys. And then thank you to everybody at Network 216 who made this happen and let us come on. I appreciate that. In terms of places that you can find us, Evo, I'll let you handle that, brother.
Yeah, so you can find us on basically any social media platform. In the Lineman Lounge, we are part of the No Sleeves Network, where it is a veteran-run organization where we are just trying to promote ourselves and other veterans and other podcasters. We got video game channels, we've got blogs and stuff like that on there. I'm actually working on a short story that I might release on there that is nothing to do with sports at all. It is like a forum for us to and an outlet for us to let the public know more about us and how we are unique individuals and stuff like that, which all kind of started from this Lineman Lounge show that Mike started up and I joined on with. So yeah, Lineman Lounge, we stream weekly, YouTube, Facebook, on the X. We're out there. We got TikToks going. Producer Amber is doing a great job of making reels and TikToks and stuff like that for us. So you can find us all over the place. And yeah, basically it's No Sleeves Network is our bigger conglomerate that we're working on, where, we love being able to help and promote and work with other podcasters. Thank you to you, Fatty, and Illegal Ham to the Face for letting us on here today, Network 216 and all the great things. That's a big part of what we want to do is, it can become a very competitive space. We want to embolden and empower other podcasters and everyone else that we can, because I think that there's a niche and a space for all of us out there. And so we love being able to work with other people and help promote each other as much as we can through this whole process. So thank you again for letting us come on.
Hey, of course, you guys have had me on your show twice because I had technical difficulties the one time and we just couldn't get things tightened up. But hey, you guys do amazing stuff. Please go check them out. Lineman Lounge. Go check out the No Sleeves Network. They're amazing people. They do amazing stuff. Hey, Mike joined me for our watch party for the Melt for Mutts. And guess what, buddy? We're doing it again. I hope to have you back again.
Absolutely. I will be there. Let me know.
We will set up a venue and everything else and get it set up. But I can't thank you guys enough for joining me tonight. If Bri was here, he would say, God bless you. God bless everybody. We always say at the end of our show, and this is for you guys also, we want to thank our troops and our first responders for everything you guys do. We wouldn't be able to do this show without you guys. Thank you guys so much for what you guys do, especially after Memorial Day and everything. So please, thank you, thank you, thank you. Can't thank you enough. And like I always say at the end of the show, we're definitely uncorked, unloaded. We're out. See you guys next week.